because he pleaded and he said, we give the county governments 450, we have gone 70 plus equalization fund. For the first time, CS body will be able to ensure we are getting the equalization fund. But then now the question comes to, how are we going to use these resources? Yet you find a governor, Mr. Speaker, who has decided you can have as many advisors as you would wish, that this money now will become foreign money trips, which is very unfortunate. That is why we are finding ourselves with challenges, that we are finding the growth of the country is below level. Why? The money we have sent to build growth, to build the markets that are coming in, to build the micro entrepreneurs, the small, medium, is gone, and the governor will decide, Mr. Speaker, what he wants to pay, what he doesn't want to pay. Today, look at our Kenyans who are suffering with diabetes. That today in this country, insulin injection is 750 per day for a patient who is diabetic. And I want to call to the governors. We need to reduce the price. Our people are dying. Health is in your hands. Stop looking for bursary. Look to manage the people, help the people, so that we have lives in our country. How I wish they can concentrate on health 100%. And we concentrate on education 100%. We will have changed our country to a better country. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I, Martha Wangare, Honorable Esuda, all of us were in the first Senate. Yes, I have said Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
And he was the lead. He taught us. He was our scholar. At that time, we thought we are going to have a Senate that will think through county governments. We never used to summon CSS. That was not our business. Once in a while, we'll summon when we know this is a county function, and now it's going to the dogs. But today, the Senate we have is a National Assembly bill.
In fact, for 5 years, we invited ministers not more than 5 times.
Yes. And we were there and we did the best to bring the foundation. But this Senate has decided they know how to speak good English than any other person. But they forgot when they went to represent us for county governments. It was meant for mwananchi who doesn't want to understand English, but understand service. But if you tell the Senate to go back home and speak something different and ask him what is happening just on his doorstep, whether that family has gotten a patient who is sick, he has no idea. He has in his own county, he has not done even monitoring and evaluation to understand how many people are sick of the chronic diseases we have. Yet that is the key function that went devolved 98%. So as I finalize, Mr. Speaker, this thing of roads, as in Nairobi, first of all, you cannot bring us Maram. So while you bring this, you should know, as we tarmac, and all counties must start tarmacking, monies that come from national government must be used to tarmac roads, not to make some, I don't know what road. No. We must be serious about this, and we must stop this misuse. And I am pleading with counties, awaken yourselves. 15 years, you are supposed now to be showing us which counties are stronger than others and which are able to now sustain themselves without the national government. I beg to support, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
GK.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the mediated bill. Honorable Speaker, I was one of the mediators, and we indeed supported the 415 billion because we firmly believe in decentralization, in the principle of decentralization of resources. Honorable Speaker, the county governments that we have today, it is my opinion that we need to relook into this system of devolution. We need to reform it because, Honorable Speaker, we formed this devolution because we want to, or we wanted to achieve a flourishing society, what is called in Greek eudaimonia. And Honorable Speaker, the achievement of a flourishing society comes when we focus on human development index of our country. That is education, health, and the standards of living for our people. But Honorable Speaker, this is not what is happening. This is not what is happening in our counties. We are seeing a lot of wastage of resources. We are seeing a lot of misuse of opportunities where our people should be benefiting. We are not seeing that happening, Honorable Speaker. And for that reason, Honorable Speaker, I want to support my colleagues in calling upon our governors to ensure that the resources we appropriate here are used for the right reason. Honorable Speaker, I support, but I want to caution our friends, our governors, to do what is right and ensure that our people are well taken care of in terms of addressing the needs of our society. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Tienda Molo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support this mediated version of the bill, and I congratulate the team. Mr. Speaker, those of us who are lawyers know that even in law, we are moving from confrontation, from litigation to mediation. So mediation is a good thing. Here, we have this mediated version because we are obligated by the Constitution. But we should encourage ourselves as a House, the Senate, the Council of Governors, that instead of litigating all the time, we should endeavor to mediate what we perceive to be our differences. As a National Assembly, we have been greatly restrained in litigation. In fact, of about 36 cases that I've counted, I think virtually all of them...
We are defendants.
Yes, we are defendants. Yes. They have been initiated either by the Senate or the Council of Governors. So I urge the Senate and the Council of Governors to take that cue, that instead of running to the court, we should try and mediate our issues. In fact, it looks very untidy to a Kenyan that the Constitution says there is the Parliament of Kenya. And then you have the Parliament of Kenya suing the Parliament of Kenya. It's actually an oxymoron. And it is something really to be discouraged. And in it, we must understand that even though the Constitution creates institutions that are independent, they are also interdependent. And that independent must not be taken to its illogical conclusion. We need not be antagonistic all the time. We can actually sit and discuss and agree. Because in fact, if we were to take the hard stance all the time, this House would actually match the victor. But I think this House has purposefully taken a step back for the betterment of the nation. Mr. Speaker, it is a good thing that we were able and we are navigating even the issue of the road maintenance levy. And as we directed yesterday, Mr. Speaker, we'll be having a Kamukunji on it on Tuesday. And as directed by the court, we'll be considering the Kenya Roads Act, Section 6 and 47. I believe that when we look at it, there are two things we are required to look at, and we ought to look at. One is the question of percentages, because the court cannot determine for us how much to allocate. But the court can only encourage that do not exclude. And we will be talking percentages. But I think that we should go beyond percentages and we should talk of purpose. If we appropriate a certain percentage of the roads maintenance levy fund to the counties, it is for what purpose? It cannot be for purposes of constructing the footpath next to my home. I think it is now time to consider, because I think we are all suffering. While we can usually engage with KERA to try and do some maram roads here and there, all tarmac roads, the few that may have been done, are all being now wiped out. So we should now restrict anything that is allocated to the counties to the low volume tarmac in the urban areas within our constituencies. That way we can see what is being done. And that is very important, Mr. Speaker, because, for example, take two examples that are totally devolved. Health. Many of the counties would rush to construct health facilities because that's easy politically, but then not put any drugs because that's expensive and it is not visible. Many of the counties would rush to put a sports facility because that's visible, but not invest in the sports equipment or in the sports tournament. The idea of sports was removed from CDF and none of us is now involved. And you'll realize that in the whole country now, you do not find sports tournaments. You know? So development of top sports talents then just dies like that. I'd like to finish, Mr. Speaker, by saying, in the context of all this is the question of NGCDF. And as Mr. Speaker directed, next week we are discussing this matter, especially the constitutional amendment, and then we go on recess. I would like to urge members at this point to plan for next week so that you are pleased here. It would be a very unfortunate situation if we get to next week when we are supposed to read 2/3 and then we hear some members are in their constituencies, some members are abroad, some members are in their offices, some members are in all sorts of other businesses that usually engage members of parliament, but this is much more fundamental. I support Mr. Speaker.
Osoro, the last one on this side.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also rise to support the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill, Honorable Speaker. And I congratulate the teams, both the Senate team and the National Assembly, for coming up with an amicable solution, because in my engagement with the honorable members, both from both sides, I realized there was push and pull, and it really took a lot of effort and utmost wisdom and maturity to even get to that level of 415. Because initially they had even stuck at 425 without deviating, Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Speaker, even as we get to this point every time, because it's now becoming a norm that year in, year out, there is an the county governments are allocated some substantial amount of money for development. And of course, at the end of it all, we of course get to this level of engagement and everything between these two houses. With the way the Senate defends, Honorable Speaker, with the way the Senate defends this allocation or the Division of Revenue Bill, and even the way they push for higher allocation to the counties, I wish the same vigor was used to follow the money and see what it does in the counties, Honorable Speaker. Because it is very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate, and we really must remind them every time that over 10 years post devolution, Honorable Speaker, we really haven't reached to the level where the drafters of the Constitution envisioned us to reach, Honorable Speaker. And you'll always see, you know, members of parliament are still being approached to do and work for the people on the issues, Honorable Speaker, that are supposed to be handled by the county governments. Because unless utmost civic education is done to the members of the public to get to know what members of the National Assembly are supposed to do under Article 95 and 96, and what the county governors are supposed to do. Because sometimes, Honorable Speaker, we are approached by people whenever we visit our constituencies, asked about water, asked about the hospitals, asked about feeder roads. We asked about everything. And when we tell them, Honorable Speaker, that this is supposed to be done by the county governments or the governors, we are told, you know, we are the ones, you are the one we elected. We do not know this governor. We do not know this MCA. You are the one who wants to do this and this and this. And sometimes it really becomes a bit of a challenge. But even more important, Honorable Speaker, there has been a pro rata growth or, gradual growth of this allocation from 370. We go to about 380, 385 all through. Now we are at 415. Honorable Speaker, where does this money go to? Where does it go to? We know it gets to the counties, but what does it do? Honorable Speaker, move around the counties across the country. You know their roles. You know what they're supposed to do. It's about the ECD classrooms. You will see challenges. It's about, when you talk about the feeder roads, you will see challenges. In fact, Honorable Speaker, yesterday I was engaging one senator who was in the mediation team, Honorable Speaker. And he confided in me by telling me, Honorable Speaker, that even after pushing for this allocation, we know that out of about 447 governors, it's about 3 of them who are working. And then why are you pushing for 430? Said, they were just enriching them. It is quite sad. Honorable Speaker, nowadays what this money is used for will surprise you. It's only meant to create a group of people, who are on pay a year every month that move around with the governors, Honorable Speaker, to funerals or to public functions as cheer squads, and they move. You'll actually notice even the standing position is the same. They move from this area. When the governor moves to this side, they go with them. When they move to a church, they go with them. When they move to the funeral, they go with them. And their work is just one. Their job description is one. Cheer us whenever we stand to speak so that everybody will think we are popular. This is a sad reality that counties are not doing what is supposed to be done. Most of these things, Honorable Speaker, that the draft of the Constitution envisioned that the money that will get closer to people will have decentralized all the funds, and the responsibilities will be limited to that area so that the concentrated area of development will be within that jurisdiction. Honorable Speaker, this thing is not happening. Roads are pathetic. When you saw them the other day, Honorable Speaker, engaging us over the RMLF, and we had a meeting which yours truly, you sent us, Honorable Speaker, to engage them the other time. We took 4 hours, Honorable Speaker, to debate about 10 billion shillings. We took 4 hours, and we couldn't agree. In fact, they go to a point of saying, you guys, if you do not want to, we'll even close. They threatened us of closing down the counties and downing down the tools. And we told them, we will not feel your effect. Even on your operating, we don't feel you. So if closing down, still, it's inconsequential. And that is why we are promoting the culture of goonism by sending a lot of money just to create goons from this corner to this corner. And I've always said, and I'll still repeat, Honorable Speaker, that you will see when you move around the country, you will see what NGAF does, you will see what NGCDF does. All over, in the public eye, you will see tanks by the gracious ladies from this house, all over being distributed. You will see them doing a lot of bursaries with a meager amount of money, Honorable Speaker, about 40-something million. But, Honorable Speaker, in the billions that the county governments get, you will need a microscope to identify one thing, just one thing, that this county has done this county has done this county has done this. All you see, Honorable Speaker, is a group of people moving around with a convoy of 30, 40 vehicles to one function. And I've always said this, one carrying a podium, another one carrying a chair, another one carrying a carpet, another one carrying a toilet, another one carrying I don't know what. And when they go there, all they want to hear about a queue of all long people saying, oh, Your Excellency, calling. How do you call excellencies? People don't work. They are doing nothing. Stop calling them excellencies. Honorable Speaker, we need to empower the county assemblies. It's about time we rethink how we can be able to empower the county assemblies so that we have a replica of what we have, and they enjoy autonomy of having perhaps ward development funds, so that other than enriching one person who is in charge, that you have to be who is creating a demigod of themselves, within themselves, that if they disagree with you, they'll mess up with your life, you'll not even sleep in your house, they'll send you goons. It is becoming very sad. And even the Senate, we want to tell the Senate, Honorable Speaker, we want to tell the Senate, I don't know what the Honorable Tiana Volo is saying, but we also want to inform the Senate, please do your work. Your work is to oversight the county governments. What place do you have inviting on matters national security, inviting a minister, inviting so and so for theatrics? Yet you cannot reprimand them, you cannot impeach, you cannot invoke an impeachment motion, you can do nothing. What is your interest? Do your work. Your work is to oversight county governments. And you really have to care about security of the Kenyans across. Then invite Kanjo to your places of in your house and then ask them, why do you use rungus moving around and everything? Because that is where that is your work. Stop these things of, fighting for, recognition when you know very well you're playing to the public gallery. You know very well you are simply whipping emotions and telling, we are the upper house, we can engage the minister, we can engage the... You know very well you have no reprimanding power. You have no power to even call for a motion of impeachment against anybody within the national government. So we urge the Senate to put their feet down and be strong and be firm against the county governments or against those governors who are stealing. And it's actually, Honorable Speaker, about time we ask them, amidst the questions they ask, through the PSC, through the PISC of the Senate, what further steps do they take to make sure that that fund is guarded? Because all we see is theatrics. A governor comes, sometimes they answer questions their way, and they are told just go, it's played all over on TV and everywhere, and it then ends there. Honorable Speaker, it is very, very sad. Kenyans are losing a lot of money. We need to find a way to make sure that this money is followed back to the grassroots. We see what happens so that, Honorable Speaker, we can be able to get value for money and for the taxes that Kenyans pay. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I still support the 415, but I wish it was reduced to 200. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Oundo, you are the last on this side.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me also join my colleagues in supporting.
Okay, Oundo, share your 5 minutes with Kainan.
I'll do 2 minutes. I'll do 3 minutes and then give him 2. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I said 3.
Oh, fine. Honorable Speaker.